When a tick is attached to you, a family member or pet, proper removal is crucial. Use a fine point tweezers to grasp the tick at its mouth parts as close to the skin as possible. Gently pull straight up on the tick, applying steady pressure. Place the tick in a small vial or jar with a blade of grass. Call your state health department to find out where to send the tick for identification and testing. Wash your hands, disinfect the skin area and tweezers, and call your family doctor. If you have questions, call or write the Lyme Disease Foundation. You've probably never thought of yourself as a scientific investigator, but understanding the world around us requires all of us to investigate science, to get answers about all sorts of problems. This project will introduce you to scientific research methods used in epidemiology, the study of diseases in communities or groups of people, and will focus on one particular illness, Lyme disease. We'll show you how to find out if members of your group know how to prevent Lyme disease. When epidemiologists set out to study a disease, they follow a basic format which guides them through the necessary steps to reach a set goal. Just like you'll need a plan in order to begin investigating. That means following the same format scientists use, the scientific method. The scientific method is used in both laboratory and less formal settings like yours. It's a logical, systematic approach to problem solving, and it has several steps. And now, you will become a Lyme disease scientific investigator. And don't worry, you don't have to wear a lab coat or anything. We've developed a scientific investigation which has activities your group can do to investigate Lyme disease prevention awareness through the use of a survey. Your community in this instance may be your group, class, friends, family, or club. Students from Tolland Middle School in Tolland, Connecticut helped us demonstrate the steps of the scientific method. Step 1, identify the problem. In this case, it's Lyme disease as a general problem, and more specifically, knowledge of Lyme disease prevention in your community. Then you must review relevant information from appropriate sources like library books, scientific journals, and even organizations like the Lyme Disease Foundation. There are several ways to do this. We suggest you read the information packet included with this video. Also, educational videos about Lyme disease are available from your state library. Then, go to the blue pages of your phone book and look under your state health department to find your state epidemiologist. He or she will be able to provide you with statistics on how many cases of Lyme disease have been reported to date, the number of new cases this year, and additional information about Lyme disease as it applies to your area.
Hello, may I please speak to the epidemiologist?
Other resources for information may be school nurses, family doctors, and other public health officials. Our team of investigators not only read about Lyme disease and brought in videos for the class, they actually brought a speaker into their classroom.
From the State University, who's here to talk about her favorite subject, Lyme disease.
Thank you. Lyme disease is my favorite subject to talk about, and I appreciate being here today. Today, we're going to talk about the symptoms of and the precautions for Lyme disease.
After students learn that Lyme disease is contracted from ticks infected with a bacteria called Borrelia burgdorferi, they continue their research by contacting the school groundskeeper to find out if any tick prevention was done on school grounds. Brown's techniques might include cutting back bushes, using tick-killing chemicals, or burning shrubbery and overgrowth. Then they asked a member of their state health department to teach them about tick prevention. As you see, they were instructed that the proper way to dress when going outdoors in wooded or grassy areas is to tuck pants into socks so ticks stay on the outside of your clothing, and to wear light-colored clothing which makes ticks easy to spot. A repellent spray or lotion should be used for extra protection. Repellents containing the chemical DEET in strengths of 30 to 50% are safe for use on both skin and clothes for adults and kids over age 4. Never spray any chemical on your face, and avoid spraying young kids' hands as they might put their fingers in their mouths. Most importantly, read labels carefully. If your repellent has the chemical permethrin in it, you should use it only on clothes, never directly on your skin. Whenever you use a repellent, be sure to wash your hands and sprayed skin areas as soon as you're back inside. The Tallinn students also learned that personal property can be protected through the use of acaricides, landscaping techniques, and proper storage of wood piles.
Okay, let's check for ticks.
Tick checks are an important part of prevention, so the students were taught to check themselves and each other for ticks before going back inside. A more thorough tick check with your clothes off should always be made once you are by yourself at home. It's a good idea to have a set of clothes to wear in potentially tick-infested areas and to change out of those clothes once you're back inside. When your group has completed its research, you're ready for step 3. Formulate a hypothesis. This means making an educated guess. For instance, you may have learned that scientists know how to prevent Lyme disease, but the number of persons in your community who get the disease keeps going up. Your hypothesis may be that people in your community don't know a lot about Lyme disease prevention. For your investigation, we suggest acting upon one of these 2 hypotheses. Our group chose hypothesis A, supposing that students in their grade knew how to prevent Lyme disease. Then they went on to step 4, preparing a plan of action to test their hypothesis. Of course, in this case, the plan of action is provided for you. It's a survey designed to determine the level of awareness of Lyme disease prevention techniques in your community. The community our students chose to study was their class, or rather everyone present in the cafeteria the day they surveyed. Step number 5 is carry out the plan to test your hypothesis. Your tests may be in the form of surveys, laboratory studies, or experiments. We've provided you with the information to conduct your own survey. Check your information kit for the survey, a list of survey instruments or supplies you'll need, and a handout on proper data collection techniques. A key point to remember when conducting the survey is that you should not provide answers or lead the person being questioned. Simply ask each question and chart the response. Watch how our surveyors did it.
From what sources have you heard about Lyme disease?
Well, we had to do a paper for it in language arts.
How do you remove a tick?
Tweezers?
After surveying your community, you must analyze the data you've collected. That's step number 6. In order to analyze data and interpret your results, you must put the data in a form which helps you understand the outcome of your survey. This means tabulating your results, making graphs or charts, sorting out the facts, basically adding it all up so that you can arrive at an accurate conclusion for your scientific investigation. The plan for accurate analysis is included in your information kit, but here's a quick look at our group's interpretation process. The surveys show that only 3 out of 28, or 10.7% of the community, had never heard of Lyme disease. However, 17 of the 28 were not familiar with prevention techniques. That's over 60% of the class population who did not know how to prevent contraction of Lyme disease. Of the 11 students who did know something about prevention, only 6 of them could list all the ways to prevent Lyme. Analysis in this case, as you've probably guessed, held some surprises for our middle school students. While members of the group had hypothesized that their fellow students would know how to prevent Lyme disease, they discovered that the awareness on how to prevent Lyme disease was lacking among their peers.
Most kids know what Lyme disease is, they just don't know how to remove a tick properly.
Why don't we put some posters up about removing ticks? As a matter of fact, I have some right here with me. Why don't you guys take a look at them?
The last step, concluding the study, actually led the Tolland students to further action. They came up with ideas to help increase awareness of Lyme disease prevention techniques among their schoolmates. By ending their study with a positive action, the students were acting to help lessen the Lyme disease problem in their community. They planned posters, a notice in the school newspaper, an information kit for kids to take home, and asked the PTA to include information in its newsletter. Now you know the steps to the scientific method. You can apply this method to almost any topic of study. Sometimes it takes years for epidemiologists to identify, study, and determine how to prevent diseases. But often, with the help of the scientific method, public health officials are able to make great strides in disease prevention in a short period of time. That's because the scientific method enables them to proceed with a structured formula or plan. As you explore the world around you, enjoy your role as a scientific investigator and keep asking questions.